Okay, in this section we're going to be talking about field properties. And at first blush, field properties might look kind of boring, or at least I thought they did. But once you get into them, you start to realize that they're kind of the backbone of the information in your table. And it controls how information appears and how it is entered, and it really starts to have some powerful influence over your database. And the field properties are found in your design view. So we would need to switch over to our design view. Here are our field names as we've been working with. You'll notice we have a new section to the window now called our field properties. And as long as we're clicked within a field, this will show up. If I'm clicked outside of an existing field, you'll notice that nothing is in here. But as long as I'm clicked into the field or the data type, it's going to give me some options here. And we're going to go over a whole bunch of things here throughout this section. And you'll notice that this field properties section or window changes with the data type. So if I click down here on my short text for the first name, you'll notice it gives me a whole bunch more options. And these are essentially options to control the way the data works in your table. So in this section, we're going to be looking at field size, format, input masks, captions, default value, validation rules and validation text, required, allow zero length, and indexed. We're not going to get into these in the bottom, but by using these different properties, you're going to be able to really change the way your data works in your field. We're also going to stick with the General tab and not really get into the Lookup tab. You'll also notice that whenever you're in a data type and you click on one of these field properties, it's going to display a little bit of instructions over here to give you some guidelines for how to use this. So that can be really helpful if you ever have questions. And you'll notice if I click onto a different field property, then that information over to the right is going to change. One other thing to note, on some of these you'll have drop-down options. For instance, if I go down here to required and click on that field, you'll notice there's a drop-down here. And there are also what's called builder boxes. If you go to input mask, you'll see this, it's not a drop-down, it has three little dots. And if I click on that, it's going to bring up this input mask wizard. And if I click up here on default value, then when I click on this, it's going to bring me up the expression builder. And we'll get into a short tutorial on how to use this to control how your data is being entered. But this is a very powerful tool that you can spend a lot of time learning how to use. So a lot of things going on with the field properties. And like with many things in Access, at first it seems a little bit overwhelming. Seems like there's just so many options and buttons to push. But I'm going to show you just a handful of really effective and commonly used properties that we're going to actually use in our example, and I'll even add a couple of fields to give you some more examples. And by the time we're done, you're going to feel confident in being able to use it to increase the efficiency and usability of your database.